Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are back and better than ever with the great Louie Louie. Love that song. We are working on part 2 of Arithmetic Sequences. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, let's find K. Given that 3K plus 1, K and negative 3 are consecutive terms of an arithmetic sequence. So that means that 3K plus 1, and then K, and then negative 3 are part of an arithmetic sequence. And we don't know which term numbers they are. This could be the first term or it could be the millionth term. We don't know. And it doesn't matter for our purposes. We just have to find K. And before we start that, I just want us to recall something. Let's make up our own very simple arithmetic sequence, like 2, 4, 6, dot, dot, dot. Okay? Well, what makes it an arithmetic sequence? It makes it an arithmetic sequence when it has the same common difference, d. Okay? And we prove it's arithmetic, or show that it's arithmetic, with the information that we have. We assume the pattern continues, and then the only thing we can do is take a term minus the previous term. So 4 minus 2, and that must be equal to the next term minus the previous term, 6 minus 4, and it's true because it equals 2, which is our common difference d. Well, the same thing holds here. I have got to take the term k minus the previous term, 3k plus 1, and note the parentheses. I'm subtracting the whole thing, so I have to put parentheses. That must be equal to negative 3 minus k. So we distribute this negative, so that would be k minus 3k minus 1. That must be equal to negative 3 minus k. So then negative 2k minus 1 must be equal to negative 3 minus k. I'm going to add 2k to both sides. So this would be negative 1 equals negative 3 plus k. Negative 2k plus 2k is k. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I get 2 is equal to k. No big whoop. Very simple, very easy. Let's just check it real quick, just to make sure it's an arithmetic sequence. You can always do this for a question like this. Okay, so if k is 2, right, we found k to be 2. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. That would be the first term that I'm given. Then this k is 2, obviously, and then negative 3, right? So we have to have the same common difference d if this is an arithmetic sequence. So does 2 minus 7, does that equal negative 3 minus 2? Term minus previous term right here. Term minus previous term right here. 2 minus 7 is negative 5, and negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. So we know we have an arithmetic sequence. So that's very, very good. All right, one more example. Find the general term u sub n for an arithmetic sequence with u sub 3 equal to 8 and u sub 8 equal to negative 17. All right, to find the general term here, or the nth term, I need two things. I need u sub 1 and I need d. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's think about this. Well, u sub 1 is always the first term, and I'm just going to put a little blank there to represent it. So 1, how many are we talking about here? 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is u sub 2, this is u sub 3, this is u sub 4. This just indicates the term, right? This is u sub 5. Oops, that's a bad u. This is u sub 6. U sub 7, and then u sub 8. And we know a couple of these. We know that u sub 8 is negative 17, and we know that u sub 3 is 8. Okay. Now, if I just think of, well, let's start here. Okay, let's start right here. If I knew the common difference d, to get the next term, all I would have to do is add d. So this term right here is 8 plus 2d. Use of, not 2d, I'm sorry, 8 plus d. Because I would just add the common difference, like if it was 2, let's say the common difference was 2, this next term would be 10. 8 plus 2 is 10. But I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to let it be d for now. Okay? So this use of 5 is this term plus d, right? Like 8, 10, 12. I would just add 2 again. But again, I don't know what this is. All I know is it's 8 plus d. So this would be, the next term, use of 5 would be 8 plus d plus another d. Okay? But we're big boys and girls, so we're not going to write it as 8 plus d plus d. We're going to write it as 8 plus 2d. And by the same reasoning, this is 8 plus 3d. This is 8 plus 4d. All I'm doing, I'm just continuing to add a d to each term, which means u sub 8 must be 8 plus 5d. In other words, 8 plus 5d must be equal to negative 17. Okay, so this is equal to negative 17. So now we're going to be able to solve for d. Isn't this the best? Subtract 8 from both sides, and so 5d is equal to negative 25. We're going to divide both sides by 5, and d is equal to negative 5. So we found d. Okay. So now let's go back here. Okay. Let's say that this is u sub 1. Well, it is u sub 1. We're going to call it u sub 1. By the same reasoning, u sub 1 plus d is equivalent to u sub 2. In other words, I would take the first term, add the common difference to get the second term. And then u sub 3 would be u sub 1 plus 2d, okay, to get from here to here, okay. So now I know that u sub 1 plus 2d has to be equal to 8. But I know what d is. Isn't life grand? I know what d is, so I can substitute, and I can say u sub 1 plus 2 times negative 5 is equal to 8, or u sub 1, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, so plus negative 10 is minus 10 is equal to 8. Add 10 to both sides, and I get u sub 1 is equal to 18. So now I have d and I have u sub 1. So I can say for the general term that u sub n is equal to u sub 1, which is 18, plus n minus 1 times d, which is negative 5. And then I'm just going to clean that up. U sub n is equal to 18 plus, distributing the negative 5 here, I would get, let's see, negative 5 times n, that's going to be minus 5n, so I'll just write it like that. Negative 5 times negative 1 is plus 5. And so finally, I get u sub n equals 23, 18 plus 5 minus 5n. So that is the general term, and we can check it real quick if we want to, because they say that the third term is 8. So is 23 minus 5 times 3, u sub 3, right? U sub 3 would equal 23 minus 5 times 3, and that does equal 8. So that's a good check right there. You could do the same thing with u sub 8. Does u sub 8 equal 23 minus 5 times 8? Well, that does equal negative 17, because 23 minus 40 is negative 17, which is what they told us. So we know that we are right. All right, hope you enjoyed that. We will finish up with some loué, and, oh, maybe we're not there. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, no, Where the Streets Have No Name, YouTube. That's good enough. All right, hope you enjoyed it, and we are out.